G'day and welcome back to another Wimbledon video. Today I'm going to give some advice that I give to my legal studies students when they're preparing for the HSC exams. It seems like there's so much to remember and it can be difficult, can be daunting to try and think through what you should be including to support your arguments via evidence. Now, one of the acronyms, hopefully that your teacher has taught you, that I give them is LMCDI. Legislation, case, media, documents, and international articles. Now, a lot of the I is not relevant for a lot of them, but it can be for some, for human rights, depending on what your options are. But at least the LCMDs are what you should be thinking about putting in to help support your arguments that you're making. And one of the ways that I help students when they go, "Sir, it's so much to do, what do I do, how do I study?" is I say, look for those cases, and you've probably talked about them in class, look for those cases that are interesting and actually cover multiple syllabus dot points and themes and challenges. So actually think about it from a case point of view. Go back in your notes, look at a case, and actually use that case to make those connections between different parts of the syllabus. And so I'll say, okay, so you've got your case, just think through, how could I use this case as evidence? And then go through maybe past questions that you've thought about in class or past questions that you've had in the HSC. So you can go way back in the HSC, collect all of the last kind of years of questions for whether you're doing consumer option or family or shelter, world order, whatever it is. Get all of the questions and then look at your cases that you've got and the syllabus. Sit them down there or chuck them on the computer, however you want to do it, and say, okay, how does this case relate? What are the themes that are in this particular case? Is it if it's crime, is it a question of discretion? Is it a question of community interests versus individual rights and freedoms? And thinking through those and making those connections really helps solidify that in your mind. And hopefully, as you go through and practice that and get a couple of really good cases that you know, I can answer any question that's centering on this kind of theme or challenge to society, I can use this case and this case for it. And all of a sudden, what you're doing is building up a bank of memory that'll help you kind of settle down when you're looking at the question, and you're not going to be thinking of, oh, this is the question, what's the answer, what can I possibly use? You're looking at that question and you're thinking about the themes in that question, and you're thinking about what cases have I looked at, what have I thought about, what connections have I made that I can talk about in answering that. So that's what I say to kind of help settle down students that are looking and being daunted by so many things that they need to remember. I say, you let the information, the connections that you make, help you kind of bring down the number of things that you're remembering by remembering really good, interesting cases that straddle multiple themes and cases or legislation that covers multiple areas of the syllabus. So you're breaking down and you're also opening up a whole bunch of options of different ways that you can answer questions depending on what they're asking. So that's some advice that I give. Hopefully that helps in legal studies students that are getting ready to do the exam.